Karen pointed a gun at my disabled daughter. She had no idea I was Delta Force. I fought in deserts, jungles, and war zones that the news never dared cover. But I never thought the most terrifying day of my life would unfold in a quiet cul-de-sac in Colorado. We moved to Willow Pines for peace. That's what they promised. Wide sidewalks, safe schools, clean air, and a community-minded HOA that advertised itself like a neighborhood guardian. They never said anything about women with guns harassing children in wheelchairs. My name is Elijah Kane. I served 22 years in the Army, most of them with 1st SFOD, better known as Delta Force. I've been called a ghost, a shadow, and a warfighter, but I'd give up every medal I earned if it meant my daughter Layla never had to live through what happened that Friday afternoon. Layla's 14. Cerebral palsy means her legs don't move like most kids, but her mind is sharp and her heart braver than any soldier I've served with. That day, she was just rolling down the sidewalk like she always did, sketching our neighbor's dog from across the street. She was smiling, earbuds in, wearing her usual blue hoodie that says, "Artists don't quit." She never saw the woman storm up until it was too late. "Hey, what are you doing here? This isn't public land. You people think you can just invade every space." The woman's name, we'd later find out, was Karen Whitmore, HOA security lead. According to her fake badge, no real authority, but full of venom. My daughter said, "I live here. I'm just drawing." Apparently, that wasn't enough. Karen screamed that Layla was spying, trespassing, even filming residents, none of which was true. Before anyone could react, she reached into her oversized tote bag and pulled out a handgun, pointed it at my child, at a 14-year-old girl in a wheelchair. You ever seen what time does in moments like that? Everything slowed. My wife screamed. A neighbor dropped his beer. But me, I moved. Fast. I was across the street before she could blink. Hands raised. Voice calm, years of hostage negotiation instincts snapping into gear. "Put the gun down," I said. "Right now." Karen flinched. "She's a threat. She's watching me. These people are always watching." I stepped in front of Layla. That's my daughter. Karen hesitated, and that's when I did something I never thought I'd have to do again. I showed her my Delta Force ID, the silver flash, the emblem, the name. Her eyes went wide. She tried to stammer something about protecting the community, but the moment had passed. I had the gun out of her hand before she even realized I'd moved. The cops arrived 2 minutes later. Karen was handcuffed on the lawn, screaming that she was the real victim, that the HOA gave her authority, that that man is dangerous. I didn't say a word. But Layla, from her chair, still shaking, she looked Karen dead in the eyes and said, "You just lost everything." The story exploded overnight. Footage from nearby Ring cameras caught everything from Karen yelling to her, pulling the gun. Within 24 hours, the clip was trending nationwide. Headlines read, "Disabled girl held at gunpoint by HOA security. Retired Delta Force veteran stops armed HOA vigilante." Karen's past surfaced fast, 3 previous harassment reports. A fake security license printed online. A known conspiracy blog poster claiming kids in chairs are faking it for sympathy. But it didn't stop there, because then we found the documents. Karen wasn't just acting on her own. She had emails from the HOA president outlining plans to target high-risk families who didn't fit the visual standards of Willow Pines. That included people of color, immigrant households, renters, and families with noticeable medical devices. My daughter had become a target because she rolled instead of walked. We took it to court, and we didn't go alone. I reached out to old friends of former JAG attorney, 2 SEALs now working civil security, and my neighbor David, who turned out to be a civil rights professor. Together, we formed a coalition, Real Willow. We called it, and we weren't just fighting for Layla anymore. We were fighting for every family Karen's kind tried to erase. Parents came forward, footage emerged. HOA minutes revealed a culture of quiet racism and ableism cloaked in neighborhood standards. Then came the twist. A local news anchor with a disabled child of her own did a 10-minute segment on the HOA's policies It aired at 6 p.m. on a Thursday. By Friday, the entire board had resigned. Karen, she was charged with felony assault with a deadly weapon, child endangerment, and impersonating an officer. She wept in court, claiming mental instability. The judge didn't flinch. She's currently awaiting sentencing and is banned from ever setting foot in our community again. Layla still draws, but now her work's been featured in a national disability rights magazine. The cover a charcoal sketch of a little girl in a wheelchair, facing down a monster with a fake badge. The caption read, "Real strength doesn't stand. It stands up." Our neighborhood is different now. The fake HOA was dissolved. A new council was formed, one built on transparency and inclusion. Layla was asked to design the community mural. She drew kids of every shape, race, and ability holding hands beneath a sign that reads, "Everyone belongs." I've fought wars. I've watched evil in every language. But nothing prepared me for watching a woman point a weapon at my daughter's heart. And nothing made me prouder than watching that girl who's faced pain her whole life become the reason an entire town changed. We came here for peace. Turns out, sometimes you have to fight for it, because justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it rolls in quietly and never backs down. The